Hey everyone, welcome back to Car Flash at the garage where badge hype gets left at the dealership, spec sheet worship gets tossed in the glove box, and what you're left with is raw, unfiltered driving truth. If you're new here, this is the one channel that doesn't sugarcoat the shiny bits or chase PR brownie points. We drive it, we live it, we tell it like it is. And today, we're about to dive into one of the most iconic names in the game at the 2026 Mazda Miata. Exterior. Now before we hit the pavement, let's talk about what makes the 2026 Miata worth a second glance or maybe a long, hard stare. Mazda didn't just do a soft refresh here. This isn't a mild nip and tuck to keep it looking busy. The 2026 Miata has grown up just a touch, sharpened its edges, and whispered a quiet reminder to the rest of the sports car world: I'm still the king of fun per dollar. From the moment you lay eyes on it, the Miata's front fascia hits you with a more aggressive stare. The headlights are still compact and purposeful, but now they've got a more sculpted LED signature, almost like a focused glare before slicing through corners. The front grille has been widened just slightly, and the lower intakes now look more performance-bred than ever. It's not pretending to be a track monster, but it does carry itself like one that knows how to throw a proper punch in a canyon. Swing around to the side profile, and you'll notice Mazda has stayed loyal to the Miata's ethos: short overhangs, tight wheelbase, and curves in all the right places. But look closer. The fenders now have a slightly more flared attitude, and those new lightweight 18-inch alloys, subtle but sharp, like well-cut denim on a weekend drive. The roofline is still pure roadster, low, sleek, and inviting. Whether you go for the classic soft top or the RF Targa style hard top, the proportions are dialed in for that perfect 50 hours 50 minutes balance. You look at it, and you want to drive it. The rear end has matured just a little. The taillights are slimmer, more aggressive, with a hint of that modern Mazda design language spilling over from the CX-90 and 6, but it still feels unmistakably Miata. Dual exhaust tips remain proudly displayed, and there's a new diffuser element that, while mostly for looks, adds a bit of flair. There's no fake aero, no oversized spoilers, just the honest-to-goodness silhouette of a car designed to be driven with the top down and a grin on your face. Interior. Slide inside, and the interior tells a similar story: evolution without betrayal. Mazda knows Miata owners don't want touchpad mazes or tech overload. What you get here is a driver-focused cockpit that feels just right. The 2026 model finally upgrades the central infotainment screen to a crisp 10.3-inch unit, but it's now a proper touchscreen and no more relying solely on the dial. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard, but more importantly, nothing distracts you from the drive. The climate controls are still good old-fashioned knobs. The manual shifter still falls perfectly to hand. The steering wheel is now slightly smaller and grippier, with better thumb contours. And the seats, they've added just a touch more lateral support for spirited driving without sacrificing daily comfort. Materials have gotten a nice bump to a soft touch where it counts, with optional Alcantara inserts if you go for the club or grand touring trims. And yes, if you're wondering, it still fits tall drivers better than most would expect. But don't kid yourself, this isn't a luxury lounge. It's tight, it's intimate, and that's the whole point. You feel like you're wearing the car, not just sitting in it. Now let's talk about what really matters: performance. Under the hood, Mazda stuck with the tried-and-true formula. You've still got a 2.0-liter naturally aspirated inline-4, but it's been massaged to squeeze out just a little more magic. We're now talking 192 horsepower and 153 pounds-to-feet of torque. Doesn't sound like much on paper? It never does. But this car weighs just a tick over 2,400 pounds. That's featherlight by today's standards. Pair that with the near-perfect balance, rear-wheel drive, and a 6-speed manual that feels like slicing butter with the hot katana, and you've got the kind of drive that reminds you why you fell in love with cars in the first place. Mazda also improved the torsional rigidity of the chassis by about 8%, and recalibrated the Bilstein dampers on the club trim. The result: a ride that still dances over imperfections without feeling twitchy, and corners that beg to be attacked harder. Steering is quick and communicative, electrically assisted, sure, but with enough feedback to keep you fully connected. And while the automatic transmission option still exists for those who need it, let's be real, the manual is the heartbeat of this machine. They've also upgraded the brakes slightly for better heat resistance under spirited driving, and even improved engine cooling to make it more track day ready right out of the box. The Miata isn't just a weekend cruiser anymore. It's now equally at home at a local autocross or carving through switchbacks on a mountain road. So what's the damage? Well, pricing for the 2026 Miata starts at just around $29,000 for the base sport trim, which still gives you the same engine, manual transmission, LED lighting, and updated touchscreen. Move up to the club trim at roughly $33,000, and you get the Bilstein shocks, a limited slip diff, front strut brace, and some slick appearance upgrades. If you go all in on the Grand Touring, you're looking at just under $36,000, with luxuries like leather seats, adaptive headlights, built-in nav, and lane departure warnings. But be warned, that trim leans more toward comfort than raw driving edge. And of course, if you want the RF hardtop version, tack on about $2,000 to those prices, depending on trim. Still, even at its most expensive, the Miata delivers more driving joy per dollar than just about anything else on the road today. No, it won't outrun a Mustang GT in a straight line, but the point is you won't care, because you'll be feeling everything that Mustang driver is missing while staring at your taillights through the corners. So where does that leave us? The 2026 Miata doesn't reinvent itself, and thank God for that. It doesn't chase trends, doesn't pretend to be anything other than what it is: a light, precise, pure sports car made for people who love driving. In a world drowning in SUVs, numb steering, and fake engine noise, the Miata remains a beacon for those of us who still believe that less can be more, that feel matters more than flex, and that joy doesn't have to come with 600 horsepower and a second mortgage. And that's the verdict from Car Flash. No fluff, no press kit parroting, just the kind of seat of your pants truth you came here for. If you're thinking about getting a 2026 Miata, do it with your heart and your hands, because this isn't a car you buy to show off. This is the one you buy to keep driving long after everyone else has gotten bored with theirs. If this review hit the right nerve, hit that like button, drop your take in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you want more real deal car content that pulls no punches. Until next time, keep your revs high and your nonsense low. This is Car Flash, signing off.